Hello and welcome to Maco Tarot. If you are new here, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. I appreciate you coming back for another video. I did a reading just a few minutes ago about Krishan and Ray J, and that really got me to thinking, like, what is going on with Ray J? So I wanted to just kind of get some insight if anything is happening with him. I am using my Mega Oracle deck too, to just get some insight about Ray J. What is going on with Ray J? So I can get the story out. All right, we have homeless, toxic family, fake rich, joy, Tower moment. Depression. Good news. Work husband or wife. Too good to be true. Friends with benefits. That came out in the last reading in a different deck. Attention whore. I talked about that a lot in my last reading with him and Krishan. Married, separated, financial success, roots, alcoholic, interesting, justice, and that justice came out as well about reaping karma with him too. That's insane. Okay, these are two different readings and two different decks. This again is my intuitive deck where it only has the words on it. With the homeless card, you know, at least from my understanding, and trust me, I'm not in his pocket, so I don't know. But from my understanding, you know, Ray J is pretty well taken care of financially. You know, because of his family that he comes from, etc. You know, they have money. So I don't feel like the homeless is about his immediate home, because I feel like he has a home. I feel like it's more about not having a place. And this is something I did talk about in the last reading, so I keep referring back because I literally just did it. But about feeling kind of like all over the place and kind of scattered. Now, married and separated came out, and I'm trying to figure out, because I don't know for sure if he has divorced or if he and the wife are separated. I don't really know because I don't follow him or anything like that. But there has been a marriage, there has been a separation, and there is a tower moment. Like, there was some happiness in his life, but then there's been a tower moment that's happened, probably concerning that situation too, in which there was a break, basically. There was a break. Now, with the toxic family and fake rich, it could be that some family members don't believe he's doing as well as he puts on because of maybe some of these behaviors, or because he's not willing to help them. And I'm not saying immediate family like Brandy or his mom and dad. I'm talking about like cousins or people like that that might want money, and, you know, maybe he cries broke, you know, to those people, etc. There is a level of depression here. And that kind of makes sense with this alcoholic and justice, because in the other deck, you know, the question was asked about whether he's using drugs or anything, and it did come back as yes. So there's definitely there's definitely alcoholism going on, maybe some actual drugs being used. And then this justice card also came out, and we talked about karma, you know, having maybe being alone because of the karma of him mistreating his wife, etc. Now, there is good news, and then there's the work wife and too good to be true. Now, in my mind, this could be, and this is because I literally just did a reading now, so it could be wrong, but I feel like that work wife, work husband dynamic might be Krishan. because they've been hanging out, and a lot of people are like, what the heck, or how, what is this, so it could be that we're pretending to kind of like have a little something, and after dark, anything can happen. But like I felt in the other reading, I just don't feel like it's a love connection. I feel like it is about attention, and I talked about that again in the other reading, about Krishan and him. I talked about attention. Both of them want attention, so they're both like attention whores. And so I feel like they're in this energy of pretending, because she's so unpredictable that she gets a lot of attention because of the fact that no one knows what to expect from her, kind of like a person you love to hate kind of thing. And so I think because he's trying to generate attention and be relevant, he's willing to like hang out with her so that they can kind of see if they can garner up attention. That's the only way I can say it, garner up attention. So yeah, but there is, and this is why I say I don't feel like the homelessness is about him not having a place to stay, because he does have financial success. And I talked about that in the other reading, about having financial success, and my money hand's itching while I'm saying this. But having financial success, but at the same time, just not feeling happy and trying to get to be relevant. What Ray J is giving me is a little bit of that midlife crisis stuff, where he might be younger. He may not even be 40. I don't know. But it's just that a lot of times when kids grow up in the industry, take Michael Jackson, if you will, they grow up in the industry. So they have to grow up fast, and they're making money, and they're trying to make wealth, for themselves and their family at a young age. So it's kind of like they become like old souls. They're treated as adults, and they have access to a lot of stuff that only, the regular people could dream of at a very young age. And so a lot of times there's this feeling of missing out on your childhood. So I think with Ray J, having experienced that, plus getting married, having a family, there's this wanting to kind of go back in time, because he's recognizing that he's getting older, that, he isn't as relevant. He doesn't really have anything major going on, because I don't think he's on any shows or anything like that. I don't know. But it's just like he's getting older and he's phasing out. So it's kind of like some people choose to say, all right, well, I rode the star as far as I could. It's time for me to get off. Now I'm going to focus on buying properties, investing in businesses or things like that. Instead, I think Ray J is trying to hold on to any semblance of attention by just going wherever he can go to get attention. Like whoever's doing something that's kind of quote unquote popping. That's why I don't really talk like that, but that's what I feel like. Wherever something's popping, that's where he wants to be a part of, even if the way he's behaving just is like, what? So yeah, so I think that's where he is. It's just, and it's the work wife and husband is right in the middle. So I feel like this might be this relationship he has with Krishan in an effort to garner attention for himself. And she's doing the same thing. So she's kind of the work wife, and it's somebody to be around, because I just keep getting this deep sense of loneliness, and of not wanting to be alone, as well as trying to be relevant. But that depression piece is very real for me. It feels like I'm trying to avoid being sad. And then when I'm depressed and alone and sad, then here comes the drinking, and things like that, which make the sadness worse. So yeah, I just feel like there's a lot going on there. I'm trying to think of what deck. Let me see something. Let's look specifically financially for Ray J. What does Ray J's money look like? What is Ray J doing or dealing with financially? And this is my, let me see if I can get a upright card. I can't. Whoops. I can't. But let's do this. This is my Mega Money deck. Again, all of my decks are on Etsy, and I'll have the link in the description box. Okay. So that flipped out. So that's what I mean. So Fortune flipped out and Lender. Okay. Yeah. Fortune and Lender. So like I told you, I don't feel like the energies of Ray J's money. He's definitely got money. And I feel like even when I was saying in the other reading that, you know, he has money and stability, and Krishan has the attention or notoriety, I should say, in the public. So it's like they kind of feeding off each other. He might be providing her with money, especially with lender being out. He might be providing her with money. Could be the place to stay. Because I feel like nomadic energy from her. Like she's here, there, everywhere, trying to get some attention, get something going. But yeah, he does have a fortune. And it could be those headphones and stuff, as well as the past stuff, shows and stuff he's done. So he was well off, but I think he's probably really well off now because of that. So money wise, he's definitely not homeless, and I definitely don't feel like he's struggling financially. I feel like these are internal things that are going on, and feeling like I don't have a place in the world anymore. I don't know who I'm supposed to be, and if he's not with his wife and children, that sense of stability is not there. And so he's trying to look at it like, I don't care. I'm good. I'm having a blast. I'm this. I'm doing that. But I think he's slowly beginning to realize, like, no, you're not the young, viral, 20-something Ray J that people cared about. Is now looking like, why is this old man in the club kind of energy? Like, why is this old man here? And yet you're thinking you're looking good and, sexy and all of this. And it's just like, what are you doing? What's happening? So yeah, it's a decline. Yeah, that's the word. That it's a decline that's definitely going on. So I'm gonna leave this reading here for Ray J. Very interesting. If you want more details, leave me a comment below. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And remember, it always gets better. Always. Bye.